Hi! Today I'm going to show you how to make easy and elegant homemade Christmas cards with the framed and festive stamp set and frame florets dies from the limited edition Stampin' Up! Fitting Florets collection. Homemade Christmas cards don't typically come to mind when you look at a stamp set like the framed florets. But when you add the framed and festive stamp set along with the Fitting Florets Designer Series paper, you absolutely can. I'm Shelley Godby, the owner and CEO of Stamping Smiles, and for 21 years, I've been teaching others how to create their own hand-stamped smiles. I have to admit, it surprised me, but I am so excited to show you how to make my homemade, easy and elegant Christmas card. Here's a closer view of the Fitting Florets collection. There's a lot in there, so let me show you. It includes the Framed Florets bundle, which look at the stamps, isn't that beautiful? The Framed Florets and the Framed Florets dies. This is exciting. Finally, the dies have the same name as the stamp set. And there are so many dies, it took 2 sheets to put them on there. And we're going to use 2 of these 3 ovals. So pretty. So the Framed Florets bundle will be in the new spring catalog, the 2023 spring catalog, but we get a chance to get our hands on it now with 3 exclusive products that make this bundle even more exciting. So let me show you. And that will let us take it into a Christmas card with a floral stamp set. And the framed and festive stamp set that coordinates, it's limited edition. So it's available at best through January 4th, 2023, if supplies last that long. All right, so we'll definitely be using this. And then you have these gold adhesive back swirls. They really have these little swirls on there. Very cool. And this paper. Beautiful. The Fitting Florets Designer Series paper, 12 by 12. So let me show you all the patterns. So pretty. Here we go. And so we got the front and then the back. I just love our double-sided papers. And then the cool thing about that, a lot of times they coordinate. So if I wanted to fold that up, look at that. It'd be so pretty. Anyway, so let me show you these quickly because I've got my easy and elegant Christmas card to show you. Isn't this one gorgeous? And then the back of it. Really am crazy about this. So I'm telling my sweet stampers, of course you want the whole collection, but pick up an extra pack or 2 of the Fitting Florets Designer Series paper because once it's gone, it just won't be back at all. And there we go. Isn't this just amazing? So pretty. So the collection is the Designer Series paper, limited edition framed and festive stamp set, the limited edition gold adhesive back swirls, in addition to the Framed Florets bundle. You can get all that with 1 item number, and like I said, you're going to just want all of it, and make sure you pick up an extra pack of the paper before it runs out. So now that I've shown you this fabulous collection, how about we make my easy and elegant homemade Christmas card? So we've got some embossing and die cutting to do for my easy and elegant homemade Christmas card with the framed and festive stamp set. So I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we'll start with the die cutting. So we need to build up what's called a sandwich, and we will start with plate number 1. They're also conveniently numbered for us. And then because I'm using thin metal dies, I need plate number 2. And the directions are on here. You don't have to memorize what I'm telling you. But next we need a plate number 3, a cutting plate, and then our cardstock. So what I have here is some real red cardstock and this big, beautiful frame. All right, and so that raised edge, that's the cutting edge. We're going to put that down. And we're going to cut it out, so I don't need to be perfect. And then we finish with another plate number 3. There it is. And you know, you rotate these. Rotate them around so they don't get warped on you. That'll help. And move your cardstock and die around. And then see, this goes through oh so nicely. There we go. And cuts this out for us. And so we actually end up with ovals. How pretty is that? We will be using both. And it's got a little embossed edge on there, making it decorative, and then, oh, that shape, and then, you know, the holes that it did cut out. Very, very nice. So we'll come back, and next we need our basic white cardstock. That's here. Here we go. And I'm going to use the smaller of these two ovals. Again, that raised edge is the cutting. And so it's going to die cut it and put some embossed lines on there. Very nice. And then I have some evening evergreen cardstock, and I want to use this longest detailed die, and we'll place that on there. There we go. All right, and so again, we finish with a plate number 3 that I've rotated so it doesn't get warped on me. And so you can, you know, turn it over and, you know, so you're using both sides and just keep flipping around. The bottom one tends to, I keep using the same one on the bottom and it stays flat. It's the one on top that likes to warp if it's going to. Now out of this one, we get 2 different ones. I'm going to use this, but I'm going to have a lot of frames I could save for later. And then here, isn't this pretty? Yes, you're going to love that. All right, and so next we have left is our embossing. So our sandwich is going to change. We're going to get rid of the plate number 3, plate number 2, and just have plate number 1. And then I have the Whimsical Woodland embossing folder. Pretty sure that's the name. And my card is elegant, and I thought, I wonder what this would look like. But it works. It works. It was too plain just being white, but the embossing changed the whole thing. So I've got this. This is a 3D embossing folder. And so it's thicker than the regular ones. With the regular one, I would have used a cutting plate, but instead I'm going to use the specialty plate, plate number 4. It comes with a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So if you get one, it'll come with it automatically. If you don't have it and you use the 3D embossing folders, you'll want to pick this up. If you've got a machine that's the same size as this. So the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, these are the same plates as the Big Shot, and it's just a little bit thicker than the plate number 3, the cutting plate. So it'll emboss beautifully for you. All right, so let me show you this. Isn't that cool? So now a little bit of stamping and we'll put it all together. All the die cutting embossing's done, so the next step is to do our card base. So what I have here is my paper trimmer with the 2 cutting blades. The dark gray is the cutting, the lighter gray is the scoring. And both of these will push up out of the way, look at that. And so I can put my paper in and still keep those on there. And what I have here is real red cardstock, 8.5 by 11. And out of this, I'll be able to make 2 card bases. All right, so, but what I'm going to do to save a little bit of time, because I'll be making a lot of these this month, I'm going to score first. Because if I score before I cut, I only have to set it up once for scoring. Does that make sense? And if not, I'll show you. So this is 8.5 wide, so I'm going to 4 1/4. So here's 4, there's 5. In the center is the half, so, and then half is the quarter. So I'm putting this right on the line, not next to it, on it, making sure I'm butted up against there so it has something to square against. The red is the cutting. Oops, and I don't want to cut. So let me pick that up and get it out of my way. I want to score. All right. And so the score line puts a crease in there so when you fold it, it doesn't get all crinkly. So I've got my score line. So let's go ahead and pick this up again. There we go. And this time, half of 11 is 5 1/2. So we've got the halfway, that longest mark. We'll put that on the line, like I said, not next to it, but on it. And then that score won't do anything. And just cut that. Isn't that great how they just stay out of your way so they can be both to the top or bottom? You don't have to be constantly moving back and forth. So now I have 2 scored and cut card bases. Okay, so let me put that aside. It is a very nice paper trimmer. And so I fold that. You know, there are different thoughts. I just continue with the fold. It's already going that way. Other people fold against it. I think it's preference. All right, and so then my bone folder, so I can get a good crisp fold. So see how that's laying down very nicely. Then I could stamp on it if I wanted to. I won't be, but I always give that good crisp fold. Okay, and you know what I have here? Oh, that's one of the patterns from the Fitting Florets Designer Series paper. So anytime things are textured, mini glue dots are a very good option. They're super sticky. So I peel them back till I leave the backing so I can see. So we try not to touch them. You can't always. I think I may have to using them for one of the frames, but we try not to touch them because that takes away from the extreme stickiness. And I just did, didn't I? Okay, so let's try this. See if usually I take the paper to them. And it's there. Fantastic. That corner, I need one more. They're so sticky, but that's the point of it. Okay, so I've got them in my four corners, and I guess it looks the same the way I cut it. So I want it from top, I'm centering it, and you want to cut it the same size. You wouldn't want to see some white. That wouldn't be attractive. All right, and then because I have the texture, again, I'm going to use my mini glue dots. Okay, so on the texture I'm finding I need to pick them up and off, and I'm using my Take Your Pick tool, and I'll use that again for another couple more times for my easy and elegant Christmas card with the framed and festive stamp set. Here we go. All right, if you can, yeah, don't touch them. And because this is a 3D, it's really embossed, I'm going to give it a little bit of extra help and not just put them in the four corners. Put them up along the edge too. All right, maybe if I use my fingernail, it'll stay. Okay. Another adhesive you could use would be dimensionals. And, you know, what I need to try is the Stampin' Seal Plus. I haven't tried that for the embossing folders because that's super sticky, and that may be a really good option that would be quicker. So I will definitely give that a try. Because I don't have a lot of patience for this, to be honest. Okay, we're getting there. And one more in that corner. Fantastic. So now I'm going to layer all of that onto the Evening Evergreen cardstock. It gives me that pretty border all the way around. It's worth it to take the time to be neat. There we go. Once I'm happy with the placement, then I press. Now we'll use our Stampin' Seal. This isn't the plus, just the regular. For whatever reason, my finger, where it's a little bit roughed up, and oftentimes I need to get it started. That's okay. I'm just used to it. But it's a good adhesive. And 1 inch in each corner does the job. When it's flat, see, that's why I didn't use it with what was embossed, because it's not flat, but this is flat, and it's going on to this flat surface. Isn't this really pretty already? Like, oh my goodness. These colors together are beautiful. That pattern's beautiful. Okay, and so now for our stamping, and we're going to keep it coordinated with the Evening Evergreen ink pad, the cardstock, and the paper. It's just so pleasing to the eye. And so when you open up the pads, you just pick this up and slide that in and out of your way. All right. And so then I have from the Framed and Festive stamp set, the May This Season Be Filled with Peace and Joy. And this is basic white cardstock. And you'll want to use this. You don't want to just go pick up any old cardstock. This has a smooth, tight finish. It's designed for stamping, so you get good, crisp images. So we're gonna up and down and come over here. I'm not pressing hard. I just want to press everywhere. I want a good, even image. And oh, that is so pretty. And then to close it, I pull on the lip, a little push there, and hear that click. Make sure it's shut. You don't want these drying out on you. And then this fits right in there. It's beautiful how these work together. Back with the Stampin' Seal. Okay. Yeah, you could do this card easily. You can see that, right? My mat's not sticking down. Now, I'm going to use the mini glue dots again. And this time, I'm going to try to roll it up a little bit. If not, I will use my fingers because I don't want adhesive sticking out through those holes. We don't want it caught in your envelope. There we go. But that, again, has the texture. Okay. We only need to do 4 of these. All right. 2 more. Oh, and the other thing I'm going to use this for, let's do that before we adhere it down. Look, a couple of the holes just didn't pop out. They pop out really nicely with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You don't usually need to do much of that, but it's nice to have the little pokey. All right, 1 more. Okay, and if you had patience, you could do the liquid glue. I'm not terribly patient waiting for it to dry, and I get a little heavy-handed and kind of make a mess. All right, so I made my first one, and then I did a second one, and I centered it. It didn't look right. It's not much different, this from top to bottom, but it really made a difference. We're not talking a lot, but it's funny. All right, so now that's stuck down well. This, we're going to use my favorite accessory, really an adhesive, the Stampin' Dimensionals. It's going to give it a lift and add a lot to our card. These foam adhesive dots. They are just worth their weight in gold. And so you need to get the backing off and see if it doesn't come off easily. Just you see how that popped up? Just press down with your thumbnail. You don't need long nails. And that one looks like it's already. And that just pops right off for you and makes that easy. Now look at that. Raising that up a little bit. Oh, I love that. Instead of just laying it on there flat, makes such a difference. And then we'll finish with our little sprig here. Isn't that pretty? Now, this would be a place that, that people may use the liquid glue. Again, if I can, I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal because I just don't have patience waiting for things to dry. And more than that, I just get glue everywhere. All right, so I want this to frame it, not cover up my words. Oh, so pretty, but wait, we're not done. I don't want the glue, I want to stay up. Okay. So really, we only want glue on this part because I don't want it to stick down. So I'll have to remember that. Don't do the top like I just did. We only want it on here. All right. And so we're going to finish it with the red rhinestone basic jewels, again with my Take Your Pick tool. Such a handy thing to have. And each of these little end of the bear, we're going to give them some red berries. How cool is this? Such a simple card, but really elegant, easy and elegant. There's one. There's one up here. And one more. Oh, so pretty. Look at that. Like I said, easy and elegant homemade card. Now, I'll have a link to my blog post with this card with all the measurements, so it'll make it easy for you to duplicate if you would like to make this. If you'd like to make my easy and elegant homemade Christmas card with the limited edition Fitting Florets collection, all the supplies are listed below the video and available to order now in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. But remember, the framed and festive stamp set and the Fitting Florets Designer Series paper are limited edition. At best, available through only January 4th, 2023. If supplies last that long, they could run out anytime. So you're going to want to get on over to my online store to pick up this fabulous collection. And when you place your November 2022 Stampin' Up! Order of $50 or more with me, I'm going to send you one of my easy and elegant homemade Christmas cards. So get on over now to my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. And remember to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.